This is kind of awesome, isn't it? This is kind of awesome, isn't it? Don't close the bar back there. We may have to get some people going here before we're done for the night. But I'm going to really try to do that quickly if someone reminded me down there at the end of the table with the red bow tie on. And I delivered the commencement address, and after I'd finished, a young girl about the age of 10 kind of came up to me and pulled my robe, and she looked up at me and she said, "Mister, that is absolutely the worst speech I've ever heard." Well, before I could recover, the dean of the business school rushed over, and he was somewhat apologetic, and he says, "Well, Coleman, don't ignore her. She's got some problems. As a matter of fact, she has a tendency to repeat everything she hears." And as is always the case, the conversation gradually moves to Northwest Arkansas. Okay, and the questions around, well, okay, now Coleman, tell us truly, what's it like to live down there? In the state of Arkansas, the Hispanic population is only 3.2%. Washington County represents 14.9% of the Hispanics that are in the state of Arkansas. Benton County represents 15.5% of the Hispanics that actually are in the state of Arkansas. And so as we begin to look at the racial shifts that are beginning to take place in our community here in Northwest Arkansas, the important question is, how receptive are we to our new neighbors? How receptive are we to our new neighbors? Engaged with. Now, you know, as the head of human resources for Walmart or for any organization, you're kind of like a lightning rod for stuff. Okay? And it comes in your direction whether you want it to come or not. And you can't run and you can't hide. But the first one took place with a young African-American woman. She says, well, yesterday was a beautiful spring day in Northwest Arkansas. And so I decided to go out walking with my young daughter in my neighborhood. And as we were walking along the sidewalk, just kind of talking about things and how wonderful and beautiful the day was and how the birds were singing, guys drove by in a truck and started yelling racial epithets. And of course, she hurried home and locked her door. But the question has to be asked, at what frequency do they take place today? And what are the experiences of other people who are coming into our community? Okay? Now, leaders set expectations. Leaders do the things that are not always comfortable to do. Leaders say the things that are not always comfortable to say. But leaders are also what you want them to be. But let me come back quickly, because I want to be clear on something else. You know, this issue of Northwest Arkansas and our growth and change is not all about race. Okay? It's not all about black folks and white folks and Hispanics. As my dad taught me many years ago, poverty has no color. It does not discriminate. Remain. Here's an interesting statistic. The percent of residents without high school degrees in our various communities. In Fayetteville, over 13%. The Fayetteville population, even today, doesn't have a high school degree. Bentonville, 16.5%. Siloam Springs, 23.3%. Rogers, 23.9%. Springdale, 26.4%. So we're in this period of what? Change and growth. And we know that one of the keys is leadership. There's no question that the other key is education. And while we're educating ourselves, we need to understand that there is the academic education, and then there's the education of the heart, the education of our values, okay? The educations of what is right, and doing the right things because they're simply the right things to do. And that's what I would leave us with in Northwest Arkansas. We are so blessed to be where we are. And we have so many great stories to tell, so many more than the challenges that lie ahead of us. But whatever the challenges are, we can overcome them now. Thank you so much.